The rumors of the demise of Julius Malema and the EFF are gravely exaggerated. People are dancing too fast, too loud, and too soon on the grave of this leftist fake communist. The fracas that is happening now with the EFF and people like Dalim Mpofu, Floyd Shivambu and others leaving this party, and Mbuyiseni Mdlozi being rumored to be leaving as well, is not something that the EFF cannot withstand.
Now, EFF leader Julius Malema says that he is not shocked by his party's former national chairperson, Advocate Dalim Mpofu, who jumped ship to join the MK party. Mpofu announced his resignations from the Red Berets on Thursday, saying that the MKP is the only vehicle that will be able to take the country forward. But speaking on the EFF podcast, Malema said that Mpofu has been advocating for the EFF to be collapsed into the MK party for some time now. And he said that he respects Mpofu for being open about all his intentions and that therefore his resignation did not really come as a surprise.
As a matter of fact, the EFF, it has structures, it has members, and it's been around for over 10 years. It has a headquarters, it has an internal logic, it is building out its social media presence. Yes, is it a cult based on the personality of Julius Malema on this one person? Of course it is. That is its third biggest weakness. Second biggest weakness, its ideology and all that it believes. First and most largest weakness, the constant racial grievance. Those people abandoning the EFF for the structureless, policyless, no internal logic having MK are gravely mistaken, because at the end of this, no matter how long it takes, whether it lasts till 2029 or beyond, do not be surprised if the only party standing is the EFF. The EFF is built on Julius Malema and his cult. That is a mistake. The MK is also built on a personality cult of an 82-year-old, bad with money, still calls himself a member of the ANC, filled with people who are fractured, filled with people who are corrupt and fractured, and wanting to be the big boss, and no one wants to be the follower. If the EFF is a house of cards, the MK is a house of cards built on sand, on top of a donga, next to a sinkhole. There's an underground river flowing underneath that. There are leaking gas pipes on either side of that river. There is a mine under that full of zama-zamas, setting off hand grenades and dynamite, and digging all night and all day the last remains of an old mine. Underneath that, a fault line that's thousands of years old that is about to cause an earthquake. And underneath that is hell. Do not be surprised at the end of all this that Julius Malema is the only one standing. However, here is the good news. The good news is that these people are fractured. Dalim Mpofu and others say that they want this leftist wing to amalgamate and form one group, which would give them, just between the MK and EFF as things stand, 7 million votes. If they kept around the same amount of voters going into 2029, that would make them the second largest party in the country, if not the largest, because the ANC is showing a downward trajectory and does not look like turning that around anytime soon. And the DA is stuck at about 6 million. We now have a course on Teachable. It's for boys between the ages of 10 and 18, about 12 men from the Bible, where we teach about manhood, masculinity, and becoming a man. Check it out. You must understand that this leftist caucus, or this progressive caucus, made up of the EFF, the MK, and the ATM and others, is actually a danger to this country and offers us nothing. In these back and forths between these leftists, people were proposing that the EFF and others merge into the MK under the leadership of Jacob Zuma. What a horrible idea. The EFF is the party with all the structures, with the internal logic, with members in every corner of the country, with a headquarters, with rules and logistical outlay that has been around for over 10 years. Having said all that, and after all the people who have left, and those people who might leave hereafter, the rumors of the demise of the EFF are gravely exaggerated. They are the actual organization here. The MK is one event away from collapsing at all times. The EFF is far more robust than that. It will not get any bigger. It was already going backwards. It will not get much bigger, but it will hang in there and become a very small agitating party, and it will just carry on like that until someone manages to push Julius Malema out, or people have had enough of him. It will survive. It will become much smaller, much like the South African Communist Party, which is over 100 years old. However, you'll find it very difficult to even bump into a member of the South African Communist Party at a supermarket, or anywhere for that matter. Become a member of this channel today on our Buy Me a Coffee page. You'll get exclusive members-only content, which are courses 15 to 30 minutes long. We add a new one every single month on various topics linked to the channel. When you're a member, you get access to all of them on our Buy Me a Coffee page. Check it out. The link is in the description. The conclusion is very simple. Those who have left the EFF have made a miscalculation. They should have in fact stayed in the EFF and worked every single day as they have been to try push Julius Malema out and to build on what he, Floyd and others have built and tried carry the party forward that way. Floyd Shivambu is not a president or a leader of a party. He can never be and he will never be. Who follows Floyd? Who is a Floyd Shivambu fan? Who's a Floyd Shivambu person in ordinary life? And I'm not counting the politics nerds here. Who is just a member of Floyd Shivambu who will follow Floyd? There's no one like that. Julius is the party. They should have worked to build the brand and push Julius out skillfully instead of jumping ship to a lifeboat headed to hell. I recommend those dancing on the grave of Julius Malema be very cautious. Worst case scenario, he becomes very small just like the SACP and just drags on for years, even past 2029, eventually pushed out by someone else who will just keep dragging that party on, just like the PAC, if all goes well in the country. And the surprising thing about the development of this leftward progressive caucus with the ATM, with the MK, EFF and others, is that the ground has never been more ripe, more opportune for a conservative, right-leaning party. It looks like the left is gaining steam and organizing. No, they're not. They're collapsing, they're fractious, and they are exactly what the left always is in any country. They are bloodthirsty, they cause chaos, and they are power mongers. The ground has never been more fertile for an alternative that opposes them, that is conservative, free market, believes in traditional values, a limited government, with a foundation of the Judeo-Christian values at its core, led by millennials, that critiques and opposes vehemently the progressive and liberal agenda in every way, promotes free speech, throws BEE into the dustbin, locking down the border and fixing the South African Defence Force. A saying, capitalism inevitably boils down to barter between two willing parties, neither of whom uses force to work with the other. Ben Shapiro. The case is closed. Julius Malema is not going anywhere, he's just regressing. As a matter of fact, this scenario of people leaving the EFF and going to the MK and trying to form a progressive caucus is a very good thing for South Africa. It reveals the left and who they are and causes fertile soil to develop for an actual serious and conservative party. It shows the public this is a conglomeration of the corrupt, the cynical, and the power-hungry. Thank you for listening. If you dare, buy us a coffee. The link is in the description.